Today I'm watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer Season 7, Episode 8. The previous episode was insane. We had ghosts coming back, Joyce was involved, and Tara / Cassie / some creature thing came back, which was very intense scene to see with Willow. We had Dawn trying to talk to Joyce, Jonathan and Andrew were back, and Ghost Warren was back, and unfortunately Jonathan died in the previous episode, and to me it looked like he was being sacrificed with his blood spilling over the symbol, in the high school, and he had done bad things, obviously, but I think out of the three of them, he was the least worst, so it was sad to see him go, and I don't know what Andrew's gonna do now on his own, what his plan is, but he's definitely talking to Ghost Warren somehow. Spike is siring people, which is terrifying. Buffy was talking to an old classmate at the cemetery, finds out that Spike's the one who's been responsible for bringing him back, and we see Spike, biting somebody else as well, so I don't know how that's possible with the chip in his head and having his soul back as well. So yeah, I'm very curious to see where we're gonna go. It was a really great episode, so I'm curious to see where this episode's gonna go. Sometimes we have great episodes and then the one after isn't the best, but I'm keeping an open mind. We'll see where this episode's gonna go. So thank you so much for sharing and this first time watching with me. If you have any other suggestions for TV shows you think I should watch, please comment below. And if you want to have a say in what movies or TV shows I watch, be sure to join Patreon. And as always, please like, comment, and subscribe to this channel, and check back often for more awesome content. Who is he siring this? Oh, right. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we're picking up right from the previous episode. This girl that he met at the bar. Why is he on a mission to sire now? The whole whistle while you work thing is really creeping me out. Giles? So we get to see Giles? Oh, God. What is this? Bonked him. Ooh! A little stabbed in the back.
She's not here. Dawn?
Yeah, welcome to the chaos that I've been dealing with. Poor Dawn.
I saw something too, and it looked like someone else.
Joyce felt more realistic though, but I mean, who knows? Obviously they were messing with something.
Only maybe it was the thing trying to keep Mom away. Because she was trying to protect me.
Yeah, I want to say it really was Joyce, but yeah, it's hard to tell. I feel like the big bad impersonating Tara was a lot more obvious that it wasn't Tara.
And neither do you.
No, there's something, I can feel it. He's different, he's changed.
Yeah, she doesn't want to believe it, obviously.
Well, this can't be good. You heard this out? In trouble?
I don't know if it's an act, but yeah, logic says he shouldn't be able to do these things.
You see that? You see how he reacted when you mentioned webs? Cool as Cool Whip.
Yeah, he didn't say knew him, nothing, just played it off.
That was before you told me Spike's killing again, and now you want to leave me here alone with him?
Didn't mind being alone with him before.
What was that?
Too soon, too soon.
For clues? Trophies from victims? Killers like to keep trophies sometimes. Scalps. Necklaces made from humans.
Oh my, that's very descriptive and unsettling.
You're gonna be fine.
Better be. Because if I get vamped, I'm going to bite your ass.
Oh my.
It started with Dawn.
Both of us. Buffy, this thing knows us. It made us think that we were talking to people we knew.
Yeah, that's terrifying in a whole new way. I'm sure Spike's gonna find it suspicious when Anya's just hanging out here casually, which is not something she would normally do, but... What is she doing now, honestly? There's just balloons on the wall? What are those behind him? What is she hoping to find? Like a diary saying, "Dear diary, I sired today"?
4. Sex.
Oh, God.
Now, let's go. Let's get it on, you big bad boy.
Oh, my God. She's so funny.
Not exactly. Is that a steak?
Yes. Kinky. I can't help it. I can't stop thinking about you and us. And
She's such a bad liar.
nerves. Nerves and horniness. Oh, just shut up, William, and take me.
Oh, William. Oh, my. She's gonna go through with this? He doesn't seem interested.
You think I'm fat?
What?
Well, it's either that or the haircut.
Ridiculous. The dude's quite fetching.
Yeah, I'm curious if he is putting on an act. Like, yeah, things aren't making sense. He obviously sees her, yeah.
I'll guess you're a little bit bad.
Honey, you got no idea, let me tell ya.
Am I right? You a bad boy.
He's a poster child. Oh my.
I was getting pretty bored waiting over there in that line. I hate waiting.
Is she a vampire? Oh, I was like, where is this going?
You know you want it. You know I want you to.
What is happening now?
Everything.
Oh my God, what?
There's my guy.
What is going on? Oh my gosh.
Now, doesn't that feel better?
Buffy's encouraging him? What is happening?
How could you use a poor maiden so?
Oh, it's the thing, isn't it? We knew it can, like, take over different forms. Like, it pretended to be Cassie.
The girl last
Oh, so it's not Spike. Okay. It's pretending to be Spike. Dang it.
You know I can't.
Right. The chip.
No, not the chip. Not the chip, damn it.
That's starting to make a little bit more sense.
Did I go out? Yeah, I talk to people. Women. Talk to them because I can't talk to you.
Oh, God, my heart. Oh.
I go and pass the time with someone. But that's all it is time.
He just wants a distraction, like...
It's still all about you.
Oh, gosh, my heart. We know he always cared about Buffy. I am in no way excusing his behavior.
Vampire told me you sired him.
It probably said it was him, but it wasn't.
Together.
Well, if you seem to forget that much, then...
Not that. Taste of human blood. That I'd remember.
Yeah, obviously his memory's being affected.
You've got an accusation from a pile of dust and not a shred of proof.
So I'll get some.
Yeah, I could see why she would think Spike would do this, but again, it doesn't make much sense unless somebody else is pretending to be him.
Girls. So it's true. What that vampire told Buffy turned out to be true.
So then she's thinking what Joyce told her would be true.
It still doesn't prove that it's Spike. Right now, he's the only one who knows for sure.
Yeah, the fact that he doesn't remember, so somebody's obviously taking over or like mimicking his body. But now he's having like flashes of it.
It's not true. Now, let me go and I'll find a way to prove it.
Okay, I'm gonna list the reasons that won't happen. 1.
Yeah, so, oh, the chip. Yeah. Well, at least we know the chip.
The other night, I'm looking for someone who might have seen her.
No, sorry.
He's trying to find her, obviously, and he doesn't know what happened to her. But hoping she'd be proof to show that he's not doing this, but I don't think that's gonna go the way he wants. It's gonna be very hard to trust who is who now.
What's that?
Well, you're scanning that crowd. You look like you're out for blood.
Ha ha!
You didn't seem so shy when you were biting me.
Oh, shoot! Another one!
I take him, you take her. Or the other way around, whatever.
He has no idea what's going on. Yeah. Oh! Spike's getting his butt kicked. Oh my god. Oh god. Where's that going? Oh, is that a steak? Will that count? Yeah. No, it's cool. Just keep going. Yeah, it happens all the time here.
Leather jacket, British accent, kind of sallow, but in a hot way.
Yeah, I know the guy. Billy Idol wannabe.
Man, I hate playing Vampire Towns.
I like how they just acknowledge that it's a vampire town and just like move on. They're like, oh yeah, that happens all the time.
I think I'm remembering. I think I've done some very bad things.
Aw, but it's not him, but he doesn't know.
I need to see you. There's a house, 634 Hoffman Terrace.
I'll meet you.
And he already feels guilty about so many horrible things. Oh, shoot.
Not nearly. You're going against the plan. But we can make it work.
How bizarre would that be to see yourself, and will he figure it out now that somebody's impersonating him?
Hell yeah.
But now I'm worried about which version of Spike this is. Imitation or the original?
But it can't hurt to play. Get your claws in the mouse, you know? You are not here.
He thinks he's talking to people again. He thinks he's imagining things.
One morning, just as the sun was rising, I heard a fair maid sing in the valley down.
And of course, we know Spike's like mental stability hasn't been the best lately, so this is not helping.
Spike!
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh, oh my god!
Spike, listen to me. You don't want to do this.
No! Oh my god! What's happening? What? Oh, frick! The vampires are coming back! Yep! Cheese and rice. Yep. Should have brought more steaks. Give him the chops, Buffy! Oh my god, there's so many of them!
What you to do?
Oh, bonked him.
They're waiting for you. Take her, taste her, make her weak.
Don't do it, don't do it, Spike, it's not really you! No, 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 no. I think she's got that turtleneck on. Oh, God. What is... Oh, God. So he's being, like, mind-controlled by somebody else? What is happening? He really did these things? Oh. That's reminding me of, like, Glory Ben's situation. Yep, that's the appropriate reaction when you did all those horrible things.
Sorry, man. It's my job.
Oh, gosh. Apologizing. I don't want to feel bad for Spike, but something's not right, man. And he's not happy about it. Like, he knows what he did, and it wasn't really... Oh, God, he's just accepting it. He's just like... Oh, God.
You remember. You make it so I forget again. I did what you wanted.
Yeah, I hope Buffy can figure it out, because clearly he physically did the things, but it wasn't really his choice.
I've killed, and I can feel them. I can feel every one of them.
Yeah, that's what getting a soul back will do to you.
Help me. Can you help me?
Oh, I know she wants to. She doesn't like to see him suffer like this, but
I'll help you.
I don't know how. How do you explain, oh, I see another version of myself that's telling me to do bad things?
It's only getting worse.
Giles! Yeah, does he know these people? Where's the other guy?
You two.
I've missed Giles, but what's happening on his side of the world?
Dear God, I thought you would gather them. What? It's started.
Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. Oh my God, of course that's when they frickin' cut it. Are you joking me? So that was my first time watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer Season 7, Episode 8. I don't know how I feel about this episode. I enjoyed it, but I think some parts could have been improved, and especially coming off such a great episode from the previous one, I wasn't sure where we were going to go, but we pick up right after, Buffy's still in the same clothes. She goes back. Donna's sitting in the house, after everything that had happened. So I like that they did that as kind of like not a two-part episode, but it felt very much like, we're just right where we left off in the previous episode. We didn't see Andrew in this episode at all, and I thought that would come into play a little bit more. We definitely know that this big bad is here, so maybe that's the takeaway from that, is we don't need to see Andrew, is that him sacrificing Jonathan, blood spilling over this thing is what officially, from beneath, they were at the basement of the high school. Maybe that's what officially started this thing to come back, because that's the night everything happened. At first I thought this thing was a shapeshifter, because obviously we saw in the previous episode it could take over the form of Cassie and then dissolve into itself, which was super creepy. But to me, it feels like Joyce was giving a true message, and we see Dawn struggle with that in this episode as well. She's like, is this real? Is Buffy, really gonna leave me when I need her most? And kind of, I think, just not planting those seeds of doubt. I think those seeds were already there, but maybe just helping them grow. And whether that was the big bad just intimidating it, I don't know. And they even talk about in this episode that it could have been real, it could not. Whereas I think it was very obvious that Tara, wasn't there. But that's what I thought was happening, is that another version of Spike and then taking over Buffy as well, when Buffy's standing there encouraging him to sire somebody. I was like, what is going on? But the fact that it's not, a physical manifestation, that only Spike can see this person, that it's, something that seems to be controlling his mind, as Spike's having these blackouts and not remembering, and clearly has flashes of it when he touches the cigarettes, or he, is the same bar, and he's like, oh, I remember this person, and, he's trying to solve his own crimes almost, where he's like, do you remember seeing, this girl here? And, he was the one with her, and we find out that he is in fact siring them, but obviously through some other evil force taking over, because logic says he shouldn't be able to do these things with the chip, and with having his soul back, he shouldn't be able to go through with these things. But clearly this big bad has taken over his brain. Maybe he was more vulnerable after everything that had happened in getting his soul back, and was just processing everything that he did. And he genuinely looked, sorry, and he looked regrettable, like he did not want to do these things, but had no control over his body, obviously. And, he physically did this and, bit them and buried them. And even when he meets that girl with the bronze, she knows who he is, obviously, and he has no idea who she is, because he was not himself, and almost like this zombie creature, like he has no control. So I think it's going to make watching the episodes going forward very hard to trust, because is it going to be the real Spike? Is it going to be the real Buffy? Because obviously they look and sound exactly the same. And, we've had imitations and stuff before where, robot versions and stuff like that. But this there's no way to really distinguish until they start behaving a certain way. Like Buffy would have never encouraged Spike to sire, and whatever this evil thing is wants Spike to do bad things. And but just him sitting there, you know, he was tearing up even. He looked so sad, and he's just like, I'm in enough pain as it is, you know, dealing with everything that had happened for the last hundreds of years. I don't want to add to the body count, basically. And I do think he's genuine in that. Like, I don't think he would purposely go do this, like even offering himself up to be killed. We've seen that before as well, where he just wants this to be over and he wants to be dead. And even when Buffy throws the stake, he's like, no, I need, like, it's almost like a desperation. He just wants to be out of this situation, not in so much pain anymore. And I don't think he would add more pain to that, you know, at this point. But now they have the next task of figuring out what this thing is. You know, Willow saw it dissolve, basically, or like eat itself and, you know, disappear as it in the previous episode. But I mean, how do you explain that? How do you try and catch that or kill that or whatever that might be? And if Spike's the one being most affected, like they said, they need to try and stay with him so that when this happens, they can try and figure it out. And as we know from previous episodes, Spike's mental stability hasn't been the strongest, so this is not helping it. But I'm glad they were able to see through that a little bit and figure out that this is something different. Like when he was in the basement, there was ghosts constantly around him that were affecting him, and now he's, you know, it sounds like he's going to stay at Buffy's for a while now, which I don't know how that's going to go. But clearly they think he's the answer to this. Like if they study him and figure out what's going on, that they can try and figure it out and try and find a way to kill it. And it definitely reminded me of Glory and Ben a little bit from season 5, where, you know, they can shapeshift and turn back into each other, and then their memories, you know, are blocked out and they don't know what the other one did. So that's the first thing that came to mind. And that, you know, the visual effects of the transformation looked really cool, but it was hard to think about Spike going back down that path, but also like believable. You're like, okay, he has done this before. He could do it again, but again, the physical limitations completely took that out of the picture, because he punches Xander and gets a headache instantly, and, you know, he's just got his soul back. And that scene with him and Buffy where he's explaining, like, I do go out and I talk to other girls, but it's a distraction. He's almost like upset that he thinks that anybody else could replace how he feels about her. And I am not going to defend Spike's actions in any way, but one thing we know for sure is that he's always really cared about Buffy, and I think that's been proven, you know, many times. Again, I'm not excusing his behavior. He's done horrible things, but I think he's always cared about Buffy in his own weird way. And to hear him, you know, basically confess and say, like, yeah, these other girls are just a distraction. Like, I'm stuck here. He's like, I'm a vampire. I'm going to live forever. You know, I've got to fill my time somehow. And she doesn't want to hang out with him for very valid reasons, obviously. And he's just, you know, filling the time. So him saying she's jealous, I don't know that that's true, but it didn't help things, obviously. And him going out, you know, if he would just stayed in his room, if something would have happened, it clearly wouldn't have been him, but he has to go out. We also have Giles back in this episode, and when we first had that shot in London, I thought we would see him right away, but clearly that's not what happened. And then, of course, you know, the ending scene where this guy in a black robe, and it looked like he had red eyes also, was taking like a very sharp axe to Giles's neck is what it looked like, and it cuts, of course, right as we're about to see anything. And I don't know who this Robson character is, or Nora, but, you know, it sounds like this guy had enough time to give Giles the message to say, like, it started, and I'm hoping Giles can duck, because I don't want to start the next episode with Giles being unalived. It didn't look good, obviously, but I'm hoping Giles picked up with us a clue and whatever he's been working on. We haven't seen him in a few episodes, obviously, since Willow came back from the UK when she was studying, you know, training with this coven, and I didn't know if he would come back. I was hoping he would, especially with the last season. I thought maybe we'd see him in like the season finale episode or something, but I'm excited that he's, you know, at least in this episode, and that whatever is happening in London, I'm assuming will be connected to Sunnydale in some way. But yeah, I wasn't expecting his character to come back, so I don't know where this fits just yet. I know Buffy doesn't want to believe that Spike was actually doing these things, and, you know, the episode is around her trying to find out if he did them. You know, she's like, give me proof that he didn't, basically. And I think, you know, that last scene with him breaking down finally proved that he didn't do this, or didn't have control over doing this. And now the next step is just going to be figuring out who did, who's behind it, and what this big bad means. but it is terrifying to see the control this thing had over Spike. You know, when him and Buffy are fighting, he cuts her arm, he turns to vampire face. Like, it was very close for something to happen, and, you know, luckily he was able to pull out of it. But still, like, if that thing has that much power over Spike, I mean, what happens if it gets Buffy or, you know, Willow and, you know, uses her magic or something like that? Like, I think it's going to be a different kind of bad, and I think that's interesting, especially for a last season. We still don't know what it is. Like, they just keep referencing it. This from beneath it will devour, and again, the first thing I think of is the high school basement with Jonathan, but they haven't given a lot of detail, which, I mean, we're only 8 episodes in out of 22. I'm not expecting them to solve everything right away, but I think it was a decent episode. I'm curious to see where it's gonna go. Overall, I enjoyed it. It was nice to see them pick up right where we left off, and now that they know Spike's not, you know, mentally responsible, if that makes sense, you know, he's physically responsible for doing this. Hopefully they can try and find out what's controlling him, how to stop it. We had some comedic scenes between Anya and Spike as well. She wasn't in a ton of scenes, but it was nice to see her for a little bit at least. Dawn, I think, is struggling with trying to figure out what Joyce said was real, was it not real? And again, I think those doubts were already there, and now they're just amplified. And you know, Willow kind of saying like, well, my situation wasn't real, but yours could have been. And yeah, I don't think that's super comforting to Dawn just yet. No sign of Andrew or Warren, which I'm not heartbroken about. And yeah, I'm curious to see where all of this is going to go and how they're going to try and take down the big bad. I hope Giles is okay. That was obviously a very intense way to end the episode. But thank you so much for sharing in this first time watching with me. If you have any other suggestions for TV shows you think I should watch, please comment below. And as always, please like, comment, and subscribe to this channel, and check back often for more awesome content. What is she hoping to find? Like a diary saying, "Dear diary, I sired today"? Yeah, obviously his memory's being affected. I like how they just acknowledge that it's a vampire town and just like move on. They're like, oh yeah, that happens all the time. Good thing she's got that turtleneck on. How do you explain, oh, I see another version of myself that's telling me to do bad things?